Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Euroman Movie Report, the show where I talk about a movie I have recently watched at my local movie theatre. This week I'm going to talk about Marvel's Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is the latest iteration of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's based upon one of the Marvel comics which debuted, if I remember correctly, in the late 1970s, about this doctor who becomes familiar with the mystic arts and transforms into this character, Doctor Strange, who wears a red cape and can go and shit happens. The part of Doctor Strange is played by Benedict Cumberbatch, and you guys of course know that Benedict Cumberbatch is British, but in this film he talks like Hugh Laurie in Doctor House, meaning he goes like this: I don't believe in chakras and mystic arts and fairy tales. It sounds a bit silly, but he pulls it off. And he plays this very famous neurosurgeon who you guys of course know from the trailer. He gets into this accident and his hand starts to because all the nerves have been shattered, and then he hears about this guy who had went to the Far East to get his body healed, and Doctor Strange, he himself travels to the Far East, to Nepal, where he runs into this movement led by Tilda Swinton, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And she's called something like the Ancient One. And she runs this, mystic arts school. And he starts to train, but meanwhile, evil Mads Mikkelsen, who by the way is Danish like me, he is a former student of the Ancient One, and he wants to conjure up this, not Thanos, but this boogie man from something called the Dark Dimension, and then he steals some pages from a spell book, and then all the while Doctor Strange has to become familiar with the mystic arts, and so on and so on. Excuse me. But it also stars Rachel McAdams and the guy from 12 Years as a Slave. And who else do we meet? Of course, there's a cameo by Stan Lee. He plays a bus passenger in it, and it was great to see the old guy again. And there's also Benjamin Bratt. He plays the guy from early in the movie who had went to the School of Mystic Arts in Nepal to heal his body. Yeah, and is this a good film? It isn't as great as the previous Marvel Cinematic Universe films, but the acting is fairly good. The story maybe is a bit, slow at some point, and the humor seems a bit forced. But the CGI, especially the Inception-like, with the buildings going and people going on the buildings, that looked great. But this movie is of course released in 3D, but I didn't watch it in 3D because, as I have said in my previous videos, you have to pay 20% extra for a 3D ticket. And being a man of modest means, I don't want to pay 20% extra until I'm bloody sure that it's worth it. So I watched it in 2D, but from what I have read, it looks somewhat okay in 3D, so maybe at a later date I will rewatch it in 3D. Excuse me. But to sum it up, not the best Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, but it isn't the worst either. And the after credits scene, I can divulge it for you. It shows Doctor Strange and Thor baking together, and probably we will maybe see Doctor Strange in the later iteration of for Ragnarok or something like that. I haven't read up on if he's gonna appear, but with that after credits scene, it seems like that Doctor Strange maybe will appear in Thor Ragnarok. But yeah, if I'm gonna rate Doctor Strange, I will give it 3 out of 5 Coca-Cola bottles. That's it, Euroman of Euroman's Movie Report. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, if you liked this review, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to watch my previous reviews / movie talk, you can click a link in the description. But anyway, I will return next week with another movie review / movie talk. Until then, have a pleasant weekend, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.